Okay, our second technique that we're going to do today, and this collection is called Sidekick from what our second Sidekick technique is we're going to, this hair is also relaxed hair, and both heads of hair was relaxed about a week ago. No, actually her hair was relaxed 5 days ago. And this collection calls for this side to be cut very, very close. It's going to be an asymmetrical look. So we're going to come right in, and we're going to get rid of this hair now because we're going to pre-lighten this side, and we don't want to pre-lighten it and go back and cut it. So we're just going to get rid of it first. So we're going to come in and we're going to just remove the hair. Coming in, and we're going to take our clipper, and we're just going to remove the hair now, because when we get ready to pre-lighten this hair, we don't want to pre-lighten it and then turn around and have to cut it. I like using the clipper it enables me to really get rid of that hair fast. And we still use it for graduation. So how you angle the comb is going to set up your graduation. And this still works with like a guideline. I'm using the lower section as my guideline as I elevate the comb. Now you can, this is an adjustable clipper, so if you open it up all the way, then it's going to not allow you to cut as much hair. I use that part probably halfway open to capacity. She has very fine hair, so you don't want to take too much. So you can angle the comb in different directions, and it would help to remove as much weight as you want. So let's take a look at that part area and see if that's about what we want. Okay, that's good. Okay, just like with our first model, we're going to again go with our bleaching sand. Okay, this is the product that we use to pre-lighten the hair. And again, we're going to only use a 10 volume developer. We're not going to use anything high. The problem again that we have when we pre-lighten people's hair is we customarily you think if you're going to bleach somebody's hair, you got to have a high volume developer, but you don't. The lower the developer, the actual better it is. You can actually, we have techniques where we use distilled water and with our developer, and that because the hair is relaxed, so it already has a lower amount of integrity. Okay, so it's not as strong as if it were natural hair. So you can actually, we can teach you in our advanced training classes how to use just distilled water in your bleaching sand or whatever type of bleach you want to use, and that hair will come up. We're going to foil the area over here. We're going to use a more increased foiling here in the front so we can get a good concentration of color, and then we're going to foil randomly sections in the crown and on this lower side area over here. Okay, so we're going to actually foil first, and then we're going to come back and apply, because when we put the pre-lightener over here, it's going to work pretty quick because it's closer to a scalp. Exactly. Okay, so you want to make sure you don't put it on there first. If you put it on there first, then you're going to need to use a water bottle or something to spray it and get the product off. So we're going to kind of use a horseshoe-like sectioning up here. In the front section. Okay. And we also going to have training in Oakland if you want to come up. We just opened a new salon in Oakland called Blue Shampoo. There's some flyers back there on the table. And we're going to have training up there. And also we have training in Arizona. So we'll be happy to see you come up. Thick, not too thin, but you notice as bleach sits, it dries out. Once it starts drying out, then the consistency will change. Always wear gloves. I know some people don't want to wear gloves, but I guarantee you, if you don't wear gloves with bleach, it will burn you badly. Okay, the foiling technique is going to be a little different than your basic foiling technique. But one of the problems that we get is when we go to place the foil on the scalp and you put your color or your pre-lightener on it, it bleeds to the lower section. Has that happened to anybody? It happens to me. So I developed, with some other hairdressers that I know, some color specialists, a technique where we don't go up and down, but you basically just go circular, like this. You're going to pick up random pieces of hair, but the greatest benefit is that when you go to apply the, you see how it sits right in that part and it doesn't bleed on the scalp. So you get absolutely no bleeding, or until you really get the technique together, it gives you very, very minimal bleeding. And then you just turn the end right here just a little bit to lock the foil. Very, very simple. May take you a little minute to just do it and get used to it, but you see how it sits right in that parting. You see how there's no hair underneath there? It's perfect. It works foolproof. And I've been coloring hair for eons. And I've been had that problem for so long. And now I know how not to have that problem anymore. So it's just been a major blessing for me. You take the section and instead of doing this, you come at the scalp or away from the scalp and you roll in and out. And it's going to look more natural. If you look at the cedar partings, you see you don't see any direct lines. You see how that, you saw the little chunky like feel? So that means when you go in, now when I go in, see it sits right there at the parting. It works great. Take the hair out, get a little bend right there. You see there's no bleeding. So that's the technique. So remember when you're doing it, come down and you roll in and out. Now I'm kind of using these foils back and forth, but another way, something else that I do when I'm foiling, I use one side for one color, the other side for the other color, in an effort again to remember what you're doing. Okay, we're going to come all the way back to this point right here. Then we're going to change the direction and work across the crown. So you see, just roll it. Not this, but roll it. And you can take large pieces, and you see how it looks more natural because some pieces are a little larger, some are a little smaller. So you don't get that chunky feel or whatever you want to call it. This way now. And we're just going to take random pieces. So you can pretty much design it however you want it to be. Just depends on what you want at this point, but we want to get some focal here. A lot of crown focal positioning. So we're going to use some random sections here in the bottom. Okay. Now before we go to the side section that we designated, let's go back and check what we have. So you see that hair is coming up pretty good already. So you don't need a lot of time. So I'm going to take the water bottle. Just take the bleach off. So you can see how the hair on the bottom the hair has less chemical application, how the degree of how the hair lightens. So this is why I'm saying that you don't want to always just bleach the hair all the way out to a really, really pale stage. And let's check this side here. This side we should probably have maybe another minute or so. Okay, this is good too. She says we want to deposit some richness in the color. We don't have to go all the way in. And the package that we just put on the back, we have a couple more seconds for that. So now we can paint. So make sure you get it covered really good, just like we do with our color. Okay, we're going to do that. Cut that part.
Nobody can see it though. see it.
And everything else, we're going to use our deposit straight 7 color. You can use 2 of them wet or dry hair as well. So again, like the other colors, you want to make sure that your deposit is good. You want to make sure that you're not leaving any areas left without color. So I'm just kind of framing the hairline, and then I'm going to work my way into the interior. Let's just make sure we get this color deposited well. So I'm basically just using small subsections, and I'm applying this color from the scalp all the way out to the ends. I'm going to make sure we don't have any area that doesn't have any coverage with good part now about this technique is you don't have to worry about trying to be really intricate or anything. You can just get this color on.
Turn your head to the side.
Just want to continue to make sure that hair is covered very, very well. The highlights that we're going to see here are going to be subtle, but they're going to be really, really nice in this kind of deep chocolate looking in some areas, and then with a little more golden copper tone with this side. And this is really good for gray coverage too, or for people that's just looking for nice technique and doesn't want to stay in your traditional reds and stuff like that. The bronzes and the metallic golds. These colors are going to be really, really nice, especially in the summertime. This will be a great technique for summer sun. So now I'm just going back through with subsections and make sure that I have the whole head covered. Okay, so this is her technique. We're going to allow her color some time. We can also use the dryer for this color, or you can just let it sit on its own, and it'll take about 30 minutes to develop. But if you're using a dryer or something, you can cut that time down in half. Okay. Okay, her color technique. So now we see the finish on the color technique. So even though we lifted that area way out a lot, the color that we deposited and the little subtle highlights, see how that kind of all works in together? So it doesn't look too extreme anymore, right? It looks like, oh boy, what's it going to be like? So now you can get a good idea. And you can see just the smaller places where we deposited, where we lifted and deposited the color, just kind of made it more blue. Okay, so the cut is asymmetrical, so it's already going to move into that direction. We already started our basic line, so we pretty much just want to clean up the area and then keep it moving right around the head form. That's really a nice kind. I'm just really like that. So we're going to elevate the hair from the head form, and we're going to come right in, and we're going to chip this area as well. We don't want to have any blunt lines in the perimeter. We want to keep the hair soft and just allow it to continue to move. Right down where we pre-cut with our clipper. Coming all the way into that nape section. Now the area in the top is longer, but we're going to bring it over. This is going to, depending on how you want to wear the hairstyle, depending on how we wear her hairstyle, she would have a nice consistency. It won't, even though it's disconnected and very short, we're going to make a connection line anyway. So when we get ready to style the hair, if she wants to wear it with more height or just mold it flat, there won't be any lines of demarcation. Okay? It'll be a nice consistent line. So everything's pretty much just going to come to this line over here. We're going to set up a kind of a horizontal diagonal line, but we'll come back in on the top. And when we layer it, we'll get rid of that line altogether. In the front, we're going to change our cutting, my finger position slightly to come down so we can keep the hair longer here so it stays longer across the front. Your finger is always going to set up your cutting angle, your finger position. The shears don't create the cutting angle. The shears basically do the cut, remove the weight of the hair, but your finger is what sets up your cutting angles. Now I'm elevating the section slightly because I don't want a lot of weight. I started off lower and I have more weight. Now I don't want the weight and it's run out, so even another section won't come all the way over. Okay? So now even though we have this line here, we're going to go in and layer it a little and just totally get rid of that line. We want to keep our weight here. So it means all the hair is going to be elevated in the up position. So we're going to start here. And we're just going to take that corner right here. See where this hair comes down here? When you bring it up, that's the part right there that's making that line direction I'll show you. So you see it takes the line out. See right here when we start, now we're just going to bring everything up to that point. Now you can blunt cut this too and still cut the line out as well, but remember we're trying to keep a little bit of texture. We can actually do both. We can just take the section here as we move around, then we can come back. So we still want to keep the weight, so we're over directing up, and we also pulling the hair closer to me so we can keep length on the outside. So we're just taking the corner, so now you see how it kind of takes all of that weight out. I'm always asked if I have a preference on cutting the hair wet or dry, and it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is if you cut it dry, you can actually see the length better, but a lot of times cutting it dry you don't get as precise a haircut. So even though this cut has shape and direction, I don't really need to have really precise lines. That's why we can chip it and you would still maintain texture and weight. If you cut it wet, you're pretty much always going to get a more precision cut. So like if I'm doing some angular bobs and stuff like that, then I may cut that haircut wet and I will get a better and a more solid line. So now I'm going to start bringing everything here. Since I cut this section here, everything is going to come up to the crown. And I'm going to keep this same over direction all the way throughout the rest of the haircut. Everything comes up. There's a guideline right there. And I'm just removing weight. So you can see those nice highlights in there. Still bringing this section back, that's the corners, because we want to keep weight as we move forward. Okay, now I'm going to come all the way into the round here and take this section so I can start bringing it back as well. This section is I want it a little shorter here so she can get some height. So we're just going to take it this way and then we're going to come back and just point cut the section just a little bit. Now, I would direct this high as I could here because we want to keep this weight. You don't want to make a mistake and come in and then cut down this way because you'll cut your weight off and your length that you want to keep on the front. So watch your finger position. Remember, your finger position sets up your cutting angle. Okay, this section right here We want just a little bit of height, just bring off this short side. So if we want to create a hairdo that kind of stands up much, we will just come in. Take out a little.
Excuse me, how much would you charge for this whole entire service?
For this class,
No, for the service.
oh, this service,
With the dye and the relaxer.
yeah, it's just,
and
I'm
the
thinking about it, because it's, oh, well, the relaxer, we didn't do the relaxer, we did the relaxer like 5 days ago. So we didn't relax and bleach today.
Oh,
Okay, now, you know that myth, I'll answer your question, but the fact that we used to say, well, I can't color her hair for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that's not true. Especially using the Global Texture Relaxer System, because it's made, remember, that we can do specialty services. So we relaxed her hair, I think it was Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, something like that. And then we came in today and we, of course, bleached it and highlighted it. So for cost, because it's a specialty color, $225 maybe. $225. That's a good round about figure, and that's an affordable figure for people that want to wear specialty color. Now, can you charge more? Yes. You can charge a lot more. Can you charge less? Yeah, if you have to, but the bottom line is just to get people in this type of look. Because once you get them into specialty color and specialty color placement and stuff like that, it's them, it's for them, it's created for them. So when somebody else comes in, and you can say, yeah, well, that costs $250, you know what I mean, something like that. It didn't take me a lot of time, and it's really not a lot of work, because I'm thinking about placement. I'm not thinking about overall massive, all kind of reconstruction and tear it down. No, we came in at first, we buzzed the side, remember? We just took the whole side out because we didn't want to lighten it and then have to go back and color. So that took us, what, all of 90 seconds, okay? Then we came in and we highlighted the front section using foiling techniques. That took us, what, all of 15 minutes, 10 minutes, something. If I wasn't talking, maybe sooner. And then just a few little specialty hits here and there. Then when we lifted it, we came back, added a couple of areas of the lighter, blonder pieces. So it really didn't take that long. We can do it in 2 hours in the salon, or hour and a half. So probably $225, $250 just in the salon, so I can do it right quick, and they won't mind paying for it, you see. So I would say $250, $225, $250, which is not a bad fee for an hour and a half work. Now if you can do, what, 10 of these a day, got a good day, huh? I'm just, you know, I'm an OG hairdresser, so I ain't got a lot of time to be messing with stuff. I get an idea what I want to do, I look at the job, and I make the job happen. I don't have a whole lot of time to deal with guesswork and trying to figure out. And the way I came up with the color, we talked about it earlier, I just looked at her, like Trepay was talking about color, looked at the color in her skin, looked at the color of her eyes, okay? And I can see that bronzes and golds would work well on her, but not light golds. You see what I'm saying? More bronze, copper type gold. And I think that's a wonderful mix for her. And she says she loves it. That's it right there. That means when she leaves here, she's going to wear this hair and somebody's going to see her looking all nice and hot. They're going to know, where you get your hair done? Then it may cost you $350. It's costing her $250 because we're partners. She's actually the partner in my salon that we just opened called Blue Shampoo. It's in Oakland. It's a full service salon, so, and we also do training. So when we do training in the Bay Area, we'll be training at the salon. So Blue Shampoo, come out and see it. We do that too. Okay, I want to let Jackie go with Trupé now.
Basically I just put a brow highlight color, then I put a cream base, just like this. I put that on her eyelid, and then I put a gold right on top, and then I kind of smoked it out with green. She has on a green shirt, so I kind of want to tie in with the shirt she's wearing. So I kind of smoked it out with the dark forest green. I used a heavier lash, more dramatic because she has bigger eyes and she can pull it off. If you look up, I put the same green line. The color in relation to her hair is she has this color going on. I don't know the exact color. So it picks up on the inner. She has gold on the inner, and then a lighter, more iridescent pearly color as a brow highlight. And again, I smoked it out the green because of but yeah, the gold in the inside will pick up the highlights in here and the color inside. Going in with her colored foundation all over the face. And I'm going to follow through with some powder, some blush, and lip gloss, and she's done. Some powder now to set the foundation and then take the shine out of her face, the natural shine. Not too much though, just enough for it to look all even in one tone. So you just lightly sweep across the face. Same things, circle it up.
Yes.
My cousin recommended that she wants to try the current. So how much does that start?
I'm doing the relaxing for that. Keep system.
We'll line the outer part of the lips. Bring it in a little bit. And go with the darker color. Just to create a lip line.
You need to.
Bring it in a little bit in the corners. Lips up. Just like that. Just so it can pick up the gold that's in her eyes. Take my lip brush and apply some gloss. Has a gold tint to it also. She's done.
Okay, we're gonna get a finish on our second technique. Again, we're gonna use a little bit of our pomade as a styling aid. A little moisture on the hair prior to flat ironing. And then we're gonna use our thermal mist. But I think just to start, we want to just keep it nice and smooth before we get into anything, because we have a lot going on with this side over here anyway. And we really have just enough and too much. There is a thing with too much, you know. Okay, so change a little bit. Give it a little height right here so we can play up that one piece there.
Better.
now we're using the product that we're manufacturing. It's called Golden Hair Dress. And we're using it to just kind of make the hair a little more piecey up here. It's not a stiff product, but it will give you a little bit of lift and a little texture, as you see. So you just take it and you apply it to your hand, your fingertips, massage it in, and then just manipulate the hair whichever way you want it to go. So you can actually make the hair go left and right, kind of forward and kind of backwards, all at the same time. So it's just a great styling aid and something that you can use to just get a little bit more texture. And for me, texture is what it's all about. I like hair that moves. I don't like stiff hair. I need it to move. And you see a lot of your finished styling is pretty much just done with your fingers, a little claw comb or something. And you can use your spritz as well in that final look. I'm just adding a little bit, and that's going to give you a little extra lift, a little extra hold. And use it around the face as well. It's not greasy, so it's not going to make the hair fall or anything like that. The edge is just a little. To enhance the shine. Thank you.
That is beautiful.
You like it?
Yes. Why you never done my hair? As many times you didn't cut my hair.
Well, what had happened was I didn't see this then. I only saw this today, right now. You know, I get an idea for these things, and we just had to do it right then and there. That is beautiful.
Sometimes you cross my mind, and I don't know why, but I'll hear from you. Though I want to stay close, I realize the